I haven't read through all of this story quite yet, except for the headline and a couple of other headlines and some other brief articles as well. But as of right now, I want to be on this jury for Cain Velasquez if it does end up going to trial, because jury nullification would just be a sweet, sweet conclusion to this one, because as far as I can tell right now, and until we read through the rest of this article, I don't really see that changing all that much, because we got Cain Velasquez, pedo hunter here. Cain did nothing wrong, and I'm starting to feel bad in retrospect that I wasn't a bigger fan of Cain while he was an active heavyweight champion. South Bay mixed martial arts star Cain Velasquez was arrested Monday on suspicion of attempted murder after he allegedly shot a man who was recently charged with molesting a close relative of Velasquez, according to multiple sources and court records. So Cain shot a pedo, okay? Give him the Kyle Rittenhouse treatment, okay? Just don't make him run through the whole fucking rigmarole of a court case or anything like that. He shot a pedo, okay? Instead of a felony charge, he should be given a medal. What's the problem here? Velasquez's shots wounded the defendant's stepfather in the encounter off Monterey Highway and Bailey Avenue in the southern edges of San Jose. Multiple law enforcement sources confirmed. That evening, Velasquez, 39, a former two-time UFC heavyweight champion, based out of San Jose, super based out of San Jose, was booked in the Santa Clara County main jail and is held without bail. Boo! That's why in his mugshot, he looks so at peace. He's like, I know what I did. You guys know what I did. Yeah, we just worked something out. Velasquez declined a request Tuesday from news organizations in a jail interview. His arraignment was tentatively scheduled for Wednesday. Court records and sources with close knowledge of the case have described a sequence that began last week after Velasquez's relative reported being molested by a man at a home daycare in San Martin. We'll just go ahead and piece this stuff together because we aren't going to get any more details on the kid because underage, obviously, but if somebody was touched, okay, and then reported that touching happening at a daycare, this is a young kid, and this just reaffirms my position that Cain did nothing wrong. The news organization is withholding the child's name and exact relationship with Velasquez because the child is a minor and reported sexual abuse victim. Yeah. The accused man, 43-year-old Harry Eugene Goularte, who is this man? Obviously, lives at home that hosts a daycare business run by his mother. Oh, great. According to a criminal complaint that charged Goularte with one felony count of a lewd and lascivious act with a child under the age of 14. So a lewd or lascivious act, okay? Jerking off in front of kids? Yep, he thought he'd get away with a shooting, but Cain thought otherwise. Goularte was arraigned Friday, and a judge granted him supervised release. Okay, over objections from the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office. Fuck that judge. I bet you he was probably number 2 on that fucking list. 3 days later, at about 3:15 p.m. Monday, Velasquez allegedly opened fire at a car carrying Goularte, his stepfather, and at least one other person near Cloverleaf Interchange, where Monterey Highway and Bailey Avenue overlap, according to police and sources familiar with the investigation. The stepfather was hit at least once and is expected to survive. Police have not disclosed any information about the shooting beyond basic location details and the former suspicion of Velasquez as the shooter. And again, this was also reported to have taken place, the shooting itself, outside of a school. So maybe Cain seen, somebody with pedo charges outside of a school. And it was like, yep, justice hasn't quite been carried out yet. Let me fucking finish that. Motive and circumstances surrounding this incident are still under investigation at this time. Attempts to reach Goularte's family and attorney were not immediately successful Tuesday afternoon. It just put on voicemail and treated to the Sesame Street theme song. News of the shooting left fighters at AKA American Kickboxing Academy in the South San Jose gym, where Velasquez trained and coached, shocked and in disbelief. His picture hangs prominently inside the gym, alongside other top-ticket UFC fighters. it should hang even more prominently. It should be a bigger picture. Somebody should be putting up more pictures of it. I think he's like a co-owner now at that point, but he's like one of the head trainers now, so I was like, obviously. I just couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. Still can't believe anything, said Giovanni Amador Rosales, who added that he has known Velasquez for several years and saw him at a training facility as recently as last week. Velasquez, who retired in 2019, two-time former champion, held the belts in 10 and 12. Daniel Cormier, who also trained at AKA and is still very much linked to the gym itself, he was reached. Comment says he's not going to be talking about that. It's like, this is kind of amazing because nobody's just, like outright condemning somebody for a little bit of street justice. In the comments that they do get, well, some fighters at AKA also declined to talk to a reporter Tuesday. You should always decline to talk to reporters because they're the scum of the earth. Not quite the lowest form of life. We mentioned them earlier in this video. Others voiced so surprised at the arrest, calling Velasquez a sweet coach who was generous with advice and serene in his approach to helping fighters improve their form. Amador Rosales was among them. He taught me so much about wrestling, and I've never known before, Amador said. Outside the gym, he taught me discipline in it as well. He taught me the most amazing little tweaks and have just improved my wrestling game so much. We are all fighters, and I know what you see on television is beating people up. But we're humble. And Velasquez has always been a humble guy in defeat and in victory. I've never seen him once in my entire life ever throw a fit, ever once. Not once, a tantrum, nothing. He's not an angry guy at all. Yeah, that's why I was shocked yesterday by the headline. It's like, did Cain shoot somebody? He doesn't have a history like that. This isn't like Conor McGregor throwing a hissy fit every other fucking week whenever he's on his period. Okay, this isn't like one of those, crazy, cage fighters out there like War Machine being the ultimate fucking beta simp cuck, beating his porn star girlfriend half to fucking death. This is like one of the nicest guys in the game by every single account, and still hasn't done anything to really, shake that interpretation of the facts otherwise. But because TMZ, for whatever reason, has the exclusive reporting on this one, everybody else is just leeching off of them. We'll just go and figure out what they know about this. Velasquez allegedly rammed his truck into the car of a man accused of molesting the UFC legend's family member before allegedly firing multiple shots into the man's vehicle, striking the alleged molester's stepfather. Okay. Sucks that he hit his stepfather, but, couldn't be harboring a pedo, just saying. In the docs, the court docs that TMZ has acquired, officials say Velasquez followed a 43-year-old man named Harry Goularte, who was recently charged with one felony count of lewd lascivious acts. Velasquez's close relative, along with his mom and stepdad from the San Mar. So the parents were in on the fucking act as well, because that's the way that reads. Okay, then I retract anything that I said about it being unfortunate that his stepfather caught that fucking shot. Should have let Cain reload. Velasquez was driving a black F-250, then allegedly began shooting into the Chevy Silverado driven by Goularte's stepdad. Authorities say Cain caught up to the car and rammed it. Okay, wait a minute. This shit isn't making sense, but this is TMZ reporting on sports, talking about trucks as well. So if Cain allegedly ran into the back of a car and started shooting into a Chevy Silverado, which is a truck, by the way, for those of you who are also out on the loop, where does a car play into this one? Or is somebody just, not that familiar with makes and models of vehicles? Just saying. Authorities say Cain caught up to the car, rammed it before eventually firing off more shots. Cops were called and Velasquez allegedly left the scene. Soon after, cops located Cain on the road, pulled him over, and took him into custody without issue. All right. According to the documents, police found a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun in Cain's truck. Okay. They also noted they found 2 10-bullet magazines in the vehicle, noting that 8 total bullets were missing from the mags. All right. But yet he only hit somebody once? Jeez. We can safely say that there's no firing range underneath the AKA gym. Cain has been hit with 10 charges. Fuck. Including first-degree attempted murder, multiple counts of assault with a deadly weapon, and shooting an occupied motor vehicle, among others. If he is ultimately convicted, Cain is facing decades in prison. But it is the circumstances surrounding the case that makes this a situation unique. Goularte faced a judge for his charge last week, but somehow was allowed to leave jail on a supervised release despite the egregious allegations against the man. So we'll see what happens on this one, because those are a bunch of fucking charges. 10 charges. Okay, first degree attempted murder. Yeah, like they said here, decades in prison. So unless he gets some kind of a plea deal, this could be going to trial, and it won't be happening until like next year or something, because courts be slow, and this is also California, so could be a fucking roll of the dice when it comes to a judge, and especially if it has anything to do with those shooty bang bang things. That'd be big scary. So yeah, I'll be following up on this one, okay, the entire step along the way, because nothing about any of this has really changed my mind, okay? Because when it comes to these fucking kid touchers, dude, there's a saying that's been going around lately. Maps, minor attracted people, the type of thing that the leftists are trying to push in the background as well, because they just won't stop with their fucking degeneracy. But when the courts go easy on these people, maps, yeah, what do you do with a map? Well, they belong on the wall, and Cain was trying to help along that process. You should have just been, a little bit more accurate in your goals. But with that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Why don't you follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.